rules and regulations are great, employer and government responsibility is great, but I mean, we are the advocates for our own wellness, mind, body, and soul. And I was just like, what can I do to change this?
Yeah. So how did your background in operations lead you to starting a wellness brand like Grounded 1002?
I just saw over 16 years of my career that people were starting to lose touch with themselves. Yeah. And I feel a lot of that comes from the reliance on technology and just being spoon-fed a lot of answers. And when COVID came around, I noticed I was on all of these global HR calls with head of HRs and other founders of large companies coming together to see what do we have to do for our organizations. And often it wasn't just about what do we have to provide, also obviously how do you support them from a mental health perspective, which is quite important, and it should be a part of an employer's job to do that. Yeah. But what I did notice is that a lot of people were only turning to the government or their employers for answers. People were not thinking, maybe I need to wash my hands, maybe I need to deepen my breath, as like this is a condition that impacts the lungs, it impacts breathing. As soon as I heard about COVID in March 2020, I was like, oh, I'm not doing those belly breaths. And I started doing that, and I started talking to everybody in the company about that. Meanwhile, they were all like, how long can I go outside for a walk? And that's where I was like, ooh, this whole thing of intuition, like people really don't know how to rely on themselves. And that's okay because we become a product of our environment, but it just was so clear to me that, like, yes, rules and regulations are great, employer and government responsibility is great, but I mean, we are the advocates for our own wellness, mind, body, and soul. And I was just like, what can I do to change this?
Yeah.